Welcome to Gulf Minute Synagogue's Mussar Minutes. Very excited to be beginning a new sefer, our very first shir on the sefer Mesilas Yesharim, which is one of the most classic Mussar Sfarim that we have, Baruch Hashem. The author of Mesilas Yesharim is none other than Ramchal, Rav Moshe Chaim Lutzato, who was a real unique tzaddik, a very special neshama that came to Klal Yisrael. He lived towards the turn of the 18th century, overlapping with the Baal Shem Tov and the Vilna Gaon. And he was a really unique Talmid Chacham who understood the depth and breadth of Torah in a very, very unique way at a very, very young age. He only lived to the age of 39, and in those short 39 years, he accomplished a great deal in Torah. Among his greatest accomplishments is the sefer Mesilas Yesharim. Every sefer has a hakdama, has a preface, and some of them we skip, some of them we read. They're all worth reading, but this sefer, it's an absolute must, because Ramchal wrote a map of what this sefer is meant for, and there is a tremendous amount of Mussar in the hakdama, in the preface itself. Amar HaMachaber, says the author, this compilation, this composition, was not compiled to teach those things that they do not yet know. But rather, to remind us of what we already know and what's already very well known. What you'll see in most of my words are things that everyone knows, no one has any doubts about at all. Says Ramchal something very interesting, which is the hallmark of this sefer. Because what this sefer is dedicated to is so well known, is such obvious things to most of us, that is why we don't think about it enough. We don't pay enough attention to the topics that are going to be discussed and focused on in this sefer. Al kain eina to'elas hanilkot mizah sefer yotzim min akriya bo panachas ki kvar efshar shelo yimsa kari b'sichlo chidushim achar kriyaso shelo haybo lefnei kriyaso ela ma'at. Says Ramchal, for that exact reason, this is not a book you read once. The point here is not to read this book once and then you'll discover new ideas you never knew before, and then you're done. You will not gain much that way. Review with consistency. Because this sefer will serve as a reminder to remind you of those things that we naturally forget about. And it will place on your heart what your obligations are that become hidden from you, that we forget about. You'll see, if we contemplate a little bit the state of affairs in most of the world, the great intellects, those who are fast and sharp and brilliant and wise, they spend the majority of their contemplation, their examination, their analysis, their search, their intellectual powers are dedicated to dakus hachachma, the subtleties of wisdom, and deep discussions. Ish kafi, so each person according to what he prefers, what he enjoys. Some will focus on the sciences, others on mathematics, others on certain crafts and trades and skills. Some holier in their pursuits. They study Torah. Some are involved in pilpul, some are involved in halacha, some are focused on medrash, some are focused on psak din. Says Ramchal, ach me'atim, there are very few. Very few spend time studying what it means to be whole, complete in our avodah, in our service of Hashem. Ahava, love of Hashem. Ala yira, fear of Hashem, awe of Hashem. Ala dveikus, clinging to Hashem. V'kol sher chelkei hachasidus, all the other elements of chasidus. Says Ramchal, v'lo mipnei she'en dvarim ikram etzlam. as he's noted before. This is not because they're not fundamental. Ki im tish'al lahem, you ask these Talmidei Chachamim, these wise men, these brilliant scholars. Kol echad yomer shezeh ha'ikar gadol. They will tell you, oh, that's the most important. You won't find any wise person who's truly wise that doesn't admit that. Why don't they study it? What do you mean? That's simple. What is there to study? They don't see any need for these topics to require a great deal of time. We'll soon see that the Ramchal is going to explain to us that that is a grave mistake. Thank you all for listening, and we'll continue in Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow.